Can and could. Why do we use them? Where do we use them? When do we use them? Those are all questions that we're going to look at in today's video. So, stick around. Can and could are something that we call a modal verb. A modal verb doesn't follow the same rules as normal verbs. A modal verb never has an S. And a modal verb we don't put into the past. There's no past form of it. So let's look at some examples. When we're talking about the ability to do something, we can use can. I can swim. She can speak English. We can play soccer. Notice that after the modal verb, our verb will be in base form. That means we don't use to, we don't use an S, we don't use it in the past. It's just I can swim. We don't say I can to swim or I can swimming. This is not correct. The correct way is I can swim. So notice when I talked in third person, either he, she, or it, we don't put the S. We don't say she cans speak English. In negative, the same rules apply. The only difference is we say cannot. I cannot run fast. Usually we combine the can and the not into the contraction can't. I can't run fast. She can't play the guitar. My dad can't sleep at night. So can we usually use in the present. But when we're talking in the past, it's very common to use could. We don't always use could in the past. We'll see some exceptions later. But for now, let's talk about what you could do when you were younger. I could swim when I was 3. I could swim when I was 5. My brother could ride a bike when he was only 4. Or we can use could talking about past abilities when we're saying something that you could do in the past, but you probably can't do now. So if I say, I could speak French, that means that in the past, sometime, I had the ability to speak French, but I can't now. If we want to specify that we still can speak French, then we just say, I can speak French. And because could is a modal verb, it's the same for third person. We do not put an S. My mom could cook well when she was only 15. My brother and my sister could play basketball when they were 10. And in the negative, again, we say could not, or more commonly contracted to couldn't. I couldn't ride a bike when I was 2. My classmates and I couldn't pass the exam. My best friend couldn't go to my birthday party. So we've seen the positive and the negative using can and could. Now let's look at the questions. First, the affirmative questions, or yes/no questions. All we do is reverse the subject and can. Instead of saying you can swim, the question becomes, can you swim? Can your mom cook? Can she help me for my exam tomorrow? And for information questions, we just put the information word before can and the subject. Where can I go swimming? Where can I get some help? What can you do better in your job? And the questions for couldn't are the same. Just do the reverse of the subject and could. Could you ride a bike when you were 5? Could your mom cook when she was 20? And for information questions, again, we put the question word, could, and the subject. What sports could you play when you were younger? Who could you beat at video games when you were a child? Why couldn't you come to my party last night? One other way that we use can or could is for polite requests. This is when you want somebody to do something. So again, this is a question, so we're going to start with can or could, and then the subject. Can you close the window, please? Or, Could you close the window, please? The difference is that even though they're both polite requests, could is still a little more formal. Can we would use with your family, with your friends. And could you would use with other people. People you don't know well, people that are older than you, your colleagues at work. So I would say to my brother, can you close the door, please? But I would say to the server at the restaurant, could you close that window, please? It's cold in here. With your friend, you would ask, can I borrow your book? But if it was your teacher, you would say, could I borrow your book? So there we go, some of the uses of can and could. Some of you may know different ways that we can use these modal verbs. Write them down in the comments. And in a future video, we'll cover those ideas. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. For ESL Success, I'm Kevin, and I'll see you next time.